Why are you who you are? Cosmology of the self. You can only change yourself. Who are you? Why do you want to avoid challenges? Spectrum of consciousness. Courage requires vulnerability. Are you prepared for that? If you can't change your mind, you don't have a mind to change. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, beans and blokes, and everybody else. Our default setting is connection. Let's just go back to our parents to make things a bit simpler. So they connected, and then they came together. Whether they wanted to make you and I don't know. I think they probably, like, all couples, just wanted to have a bit of fun and games. And then, lo and behold, we were conceived. So that's one connection, mother and father. I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible here, right? Then the sperm, which didn't just come about, it had to manifest itself. There's a process of creation for the sperm. And the sperm's job basically is to connect with the egg. And for the egg, which just didn't come about, it also had to go through a process of manifestation, of creation. The ovaries, through their miraculous conception, they threw out an egg, and it kind of floated along, and its purpose was to connect with the sperm. And then the sperm connected with the egg, and the egg connected with the sperm, and then the thing started dividing, and dividing, and dividing, and dividing. And suddenly, this other form takes place, which in itself is, and if you think about it, it's quite miraculous. Even the beginning of the sperm and the egg and how that came about is miraculous. And the meeting, the two of them connecting, is quite miraculous. And then how the egg kind of begins to form. Anyway, to cut a long story short, then we're born after like 9 months or so. And we connected with our mother. So that's another connection with, and no one told us as a newborn baby how to suckle. We just did it. Mother put us to her breast, and we suckled. We're giving nourishment on all kinds of levels. There's the physical connection. There's also connection with the mother at a physiological level as well, and I guess at a kind of spiritual level too, if one is inclined to think in that way. And then as we get older, there's lots of connections that go on, and then eventually, we get to like in our 20s, a bit of education and all of that jazz, and then we kind of run around looking for other types of connections because we want to kind of feel a sense of belonging, and through that we find a sense of purpose, I guess. And it enhances us in terms of outer knowledge. And then a point comes, I don't know, maybe in 30s or something, that you think there's more to this than connecting with the world in an existential sense, because we've realized that there's nothing that really kind of, I don't know, keeps us really happy on a continual basis. We keep looking for one thrill after another, and like we're addicts, not necessarily drug addicts, but we're addicts in things, a pay rise, a new job, a new car, a new watch, a new iPhone, a new Android phone, and as you know, once we've got those things, the feeling subsides substantially, and very quickly actually, and then we're looking for the next thrill, and yet we kind of want something which is tenable in its longevity. We want it to kind of last long, much longer. And, if we're kind of inclined at some stage in our life to want something else, then I guess we kind of look for something within ourselves, which will give us true contentment, which inherently has longevity, it's everlasting. So I guess it's like looking for that. When master tuners, say a piano tuner, they have like a tuning fork, and they hit it and it's the perfect pitch, and then they go ding 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 on the note to kind of connect with that perfect pitch of that tuning fork. It takes a bit of practice. I mean, these master tuners didn't just become master tuners overnight. It's taken them like years and years of mentorship and being taught by another expert, and they're able to kind of tune it just using their inner senses. And I think we probably have to kind of look for that perfect tuning fork within us and resonate with that. And I think we all know that inner tuning fork, actually, that perfect pitch, that perfect sound, which once that tuning fork is kind of hit, that sound just doesn't stop. It's forever ending. Call that, I don't know, call it super consciousness, call it spirit, call it light, call it soul. But it's there, resides within us. And I think if one is inclined to think that way and to have a leaning towards that kind of thinking, then you'll know your inner tuning fork. You know that there's a perfect sound within you. And that's what we're really looking to resonate with. And it then puts everything else into perspective. Existentially, everything is put into perspective. And it takes a bit of practice because, for decades I've been trying to tune in with outer tuning forks. And I've realized, then I come to a realization, it's not enough, man. It's, I want something which is more lasting, which is going to give me joy and not just transitory happiness. And nothing wrong with happiness. It's just that, I get a new pen or something. I don't know. I've wanted a frigging, I don't know what the names of the most expensive pens are, but whatever they are. So I get one, and then, the feeling subsides quickly, man. It doesn't mean so much anymore now. But I end up giving more value to things than they deserve, and then I suffer because of that. Especially when I've lost something, I will suffer because of that. So I think the quicker we can look inwardly and find that inner tuning fork, that inner sound which has the most perfect of pitches, and just connect with that, I'll begin to have some solace and look at the world as it is, for what it is, in a more in a manner which is more appropriate, so I don't get deluded by it. Yes, I guess it's like going to a mirage in the desert, and one is, it's a mirage, and it's an illusion. But then if I go down and think there's water there, and I start kind of drinking, I get a mouthful of sand, then, I've deluded myself. So a magic trick is great, but we know it's a magic trick. There's no reality behind it, So we're looking for something which is far more sustainable, man, which is pure magic. I mean, it really is magical. And I bet my bottom dollar that each one of us has experienced that at some stage in our life, even if it's been momentary, but we have experienced that. So the trick is to have more of those momentary moments, and then try and find a methodology of elongating that so it becomes more of a constant. So as we get older and older and older, through maturation in time, it becomes a fixed reference point for us. And at the end of the day, we're all work in progress. There's a continuous learning. And the hope is that as each day passes, we get a little bit better than we were yesterday. So we start comparing ourselves to, Tom, Dick, and Harry, and we actually just only compare ourselves to ourselves maybe a month ago or a week ago, or a day ago. Am I incrementally better than I was the other day? And then the hope is, I guess, that the nonsense that I do, it becomes less negatively impactful upon others. So if anyone's going to suffer, it's just me. So yeah, so let's just look for that inner tuning fork, that inner sound with the most perfect of pitches, and try and connect with that, and make an effort towards doing that. And that requires, a bit of quietness, a bit of reflection, a bit of contemplation, and a bit of meditation. Not in a convoluted kind of way, but just simply, in a simple way, a manner that suits us. And if you can find someone who's ahead of the game in this kind of business, so to speak, then spend time with them and see how much you can glean from them, and then continue. I'll catch you soon. Bye.